Hey guys, how's it going? Kevin Cleary here with a knife video for you, and today we are looking at something really spectacular that I am super excited to have. This is a Morgan Koens Craft custom Bushie, and I have been wanting to get my hands on a knife like this from Morgan for some time. He does a lot of variants, and a lot of times he does these big crazy things that are not super duper practical, but he does have some great options in sort of a bushcraft survival outdoor style knife, and I've wanted that for some time. These particular ones, the Bushie is, you see these come up fairly frequently. I've seen a few different variants, but in this particular case, we're talking about CPM 154 steel. Check out the beautiful grind on that. I absolutely love the finishes that he's done on this blade with a black wash coating, very high saber grind, which means this is nice and thin behind the edge, but still this crazy thick blade stock. We're looking at about 5/16 there if you want to take a look. So really big, thick, hefty outdoor survival style knife. The handle is blue Richlight that he's textured with sort of a wood grain type of texture on it. We do have this extended tang with a lanyard hole and this really nicely contoured grip area here that really locks you in, although you also have the option to choke up. The big thing that I love about this, and this is like sort of a theme of my channel, is the balance of this. This is a really good sort of well-rounded knife, and that's why I've been so interested in getting my hands on one for a while now. But you've got a blade that is thick and tough and durable, and yet nice and thin behind the edge with this very high grind, so that if you want a one knife option to do camp chores and skin an animal and do bushcraft survival type stuff, this is a really good sort of all around option for that, which is what really draws me to this. It's a little big perhaps for skinning, but it could definitely get the job done. And then with that high grind and that long blade length, you could also cut up your vegetables and do everything else you needed to do to sort of finish off getting that meal prepared. The Richlight is very good feeling in hand, really grippy and positive texturing there, and then of course having that option to choke up is something that I always really like. In terms of the size of this is not a small knife. By the way, before I move on, let me show you the sheath that was done by Buffalo Bones. That's Seamus. I'm going to say Koen. I think I'm pronouncing his last name. Please forgive me if I'm messing that up. But this is really nicely done. There's the Instagram handle right there, Buffalo Bones. You can find him, and also his store would be buffalobonesleather.com. All right, done a really good job with this, and yeah, I can't wait. This is just a first impression. I've just opened this up a few minutes ago, but I can't wait to put this on a belt and carry it with me out in the woods and do a little bit of testing and get some fun stuff with this outdoors done. But for now, we're just kind of going over features, functions, size, all that kind of stuff. All right. So let's get back into what we were saying about this. So we've got 154 cm steel, high saber grind, black wash coating. Look at the orange peel and then the grind lines. I think that looks absolutely perfect. Just so suits the kind of role that this knife has, and also the other thing I really love about this is it's very much within sort of the Koens Craft and Morgan's wheelhouse. He has these apocalyptic looking crazy things, and so even in a practical knife like this, you can still get his flavor added to the knife really well. So absolutely fantastic. Love all of the features. I love the feel in hand. I went with black hardware, which I think looks really cool. And then sent this off to Seamus, who put this sheath together for me. The other good thing about this is I was able to, I like my knives to carry a little high, so I was able to specify like how I wanted things to be done. And so that's a huge benefit of going with a custom sheath. Now you should know, if you're not used to buying custom fixed blades, they're normally going to come just like this. And certainly I shouldn't say that I'm used to buying custom fixed blades, because I'm not, but I've been around long enough to know that, this is what you're going to get, and you're going to have to take care of a sheath, generally speaking. All right, unless there are a few out there who make a bunch of stuff, send it off to a leather maker, have it sent back with a sheath. But one, that's a long process. It's a lot of capital to have out there, because you're paying that leather for that leather work to be done. It's a lot easier for a maker to just have a sort of a relationship with someone who does good work. And I think, Seamus was Morgan's recommendation. So really, really nicely done on that. Now, I haven't even talked about the size of this yet. This is not for the faint of heart. This is a fairly substantial knife. Let me show you a couple of knives. Where's the other? I thought I had. There's the Lion Steel M2M, and I would have said before I sat down here that I also had the M4. This is about the size of a Lion Steel M4 though, so it's close enough to give you an idea. Overall, this is a foot long, so 12 inches. We've got 6.5 inches of length on the blade. Notice it's not all cutting edge. You've got this choil here, so you end up with a little over 6 inches of cutting edge, just a hair over. Basically 5.5 inches of handle, 4 inches of grip area is how all of that sort of plays out. Once it's in the sheath, normally you're going to hang this from a belt, but if you want to know like how much size is this going to take up in a pack or something, it's about 12.5 inches in the sheath. All right, so that should give you some idea. If you were going to not carry this on your belt, you wanted to carry it in a backpack or something, and you want to know how big of a pocket or how much room do I need. So I like the spot that this lands for me. It's a pretty good general use fixed blade, and I will do, some testing and some work with this outdoors and kind of let you know how it stacks up, not only to some smaller stuff, often for, skinning or for a lot of outdoor stuff, I find, a small fixed blade paired with a saw or an axe works really well. This is sort of a little more leaning toward that one tool option, but not exactly. So we'll probably have some comparisons. I want to throw in a couple of the knives that I am particularly drawn to when it comes to outdoor use. Here is the Hinderer Ranch Bowie. Love this knife. It's going to be a little bit smaller, have some slight differences, but the one thing I will say about these two knives is they both look amazing, which is really, really cool. I like knives to be tools, but both of these are highly aesthetically pleasing as well. I do have a couple other options just quickly to throw at you here in terms of not only size comparison, but even roll comparison. So we've got hold on. I was going to try to take this out on camera, but I just immediately realized it was not going to work at all. We have the Bark River Trekker here, which again is meant to be a one-tool option, but is pretty effective in the knife roll. It's definitely set up to be able to chop and slice, and it's sort of trying to do multiple tasks. Clearly, though, designed to be a bit more of a chopper, and then sort of a woodworking knife. So we'll talk about those two side by side with in a couple of videos. I think that'll be a lot of fun to do. And then I want to bring in what has been one of my favorite, and what is honestly for me a highly recommended fixed blade option, and that is the Becker BK9. Obviously, the BK9 is much bigger, but it hits a similar niche because of the fact that this can chop a little better. I dare say this is going to chop a little better than this, but what it can also, this can do really almost anything. It's thin enough behind the edge and thin enough blade stock that you could do some kitchen stuff with this. You could, cut down a tree, take that tree down to kindling size, make a feather stick, get a fire going. Like this is a good survival option, as well as work around camp and that kind of thing. It's also a great knife. One of the things I like about knives that are bigger like this, either this or even the Trekker, is throw that on your belt when you're hunting, and you've got a quick tool that you can clear out some branches if you need to. I know that's going to make a little more noise than most of us want to make in the bush, but if you're out early and you're setting up, it's nice to have something that can clear some brush. All right, guys. My first impression on the Koens Craft Bushie is, to be just absolutely blown away. This is such a beautiful knife, and I am so stoked to finally have something from Morgan. I've wanted this for a while. I have looked at, and you guys know we've talked about his Concept Knives collaborations a bit, but this is a single custom from him, hand done, and man, it is really, really impressive. So there you go, guys. If you want to pick up something from Morgan, you have to follow him on Instagram, and you just sort of have to wait. He sort of makes some stuff and then puts it out available on social media, and you can buy it at the time. I don't want to speak for him, but I don't think he does a lot of like ordered customs where you call him, give him some specs, and he builds something like that. I'm sure he may do that in certain circumstances, but most of the time, you follow on Instagram, he's going to post various things that he has available, and you can buy them a lot in that way. All right. Thanks a lot for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We will talk to you soon.